Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Sack here. For President's Day 2016, this is CNN's front page story. What happens next with the 44th president pictured next to Antonin Scalia, who just died on the 44th day of the year, known as Lupercalia. And already all sorts of theories are circulating, even within the mainstream, what happened to Scalia. I've even heard it suggested on mainstream talk radio that Obama has had Scalia assassinated. So already all sorts of stories circulating. And here, CNN has a very suspicious front page building to the narrative. What happens next? One option for Obama is a sacrificial lamb, with emphasis on the phrase sacrificial lamb, to replace Scalia. If you're new to my channel, I talk about how the mainstream media codes gematria into their headlines. And I want to show you what the phrase, what happens next, has to do with the name Barack Obama and also with the year 68, the year of the assassination of Dr. King and Robert F. Kennedy. A big year in this nation's history, 68. The year 911 was made the national emergency dialing code. The year World Trade Center construction began, the year George W. Bush graduated from Yale in Skull and Bones, the president during 9/11, where the World Trade Centers fell to the ground, the year Space Odyssey 2001 came out, a story of technology overtaking man. Anyhow, we'll talk about what this headline has to do with 68. I want to take you to Lupercalia, though, this festival on the 44th day of the year, a festival celebrating death. Antonin Scalia just died on this date. It has gematria of 44, Lupercalia, the number coded within the word, a festival on the 44th day that Antonin Scalia passed in the time of the 44th president. 44 has been a very fateful number for presidents in this nation. First, I want to show you something about 44 and the date April 4th. They have matching gematria. This number is connected to death. Sagittarius has gematria of 144. JFK was the 44th term president. He died on the first day of Sagittarius, in the middle of Dealey Plaza, named after a 33rd degree Freemason. And Freemasonry, they practiced this language of gematria, this secret language coded within our own language, English. So anyhow, JFK's brother, RFK, in 68, died at 1:44 in the morning. Martin Luther King Jr. died that year at April 4th. The first president to die in office was William Henry Harrison, the 9th president. He also died on April 4th, 1 month into his term, the shortest term by a U.S. president. Abraham Lincoln was the first president to be assassinated in the history books. Abraham equals 44. He dreamt on April 4th that he would be shot, only to be shot 10 days later. Bobby Kennedy gave the speech in Roseburg, Oregon, 10 days before he was shot about gun control in regards to the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. on April 4th, 2 months and 2 days before his own death. This number is coded all over assassinations in this nation's history and beyond. In our history books, it says Julius Caesar was assassinated in 44 BC. Malcolm X was killed on a date with a life lesson number of 44. His assassin was named Thomas Hagen, who got 44 years in prison. Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassin died in prison much later on a date with 144 numerology. All throughout history, this number coded in many ways over major assassination stories, from the first president to die in office to the 9th, up to JFK, the 44th term president. And the next president to die in office will be the 9th, which very well might be number 44, Barack Hussein Obama. An interesting note, though, even though he's labeled number 44, he's the 43rd person to be president because Grover Cleveland counted as number 22 and number 24. William Henry Harrison's nephew was the 23rd president, the one that split that up. The first one to die in office. Anyhow, Obama's number 43, the day he did his acceptance speech, it had 43 numerology. He gave it in Grant Park in Chicago. land of Lincoln. Grant Park has gematria of 43. So does Civil War has gematria of 43. So does Charleston has gematria of 43, where the Civil War began. Lincoln was born on February 12th, the 43rd day of the year. Are you following me with the 43, Civil War, Charleston, Lincoln, Obama from the land of Lincoln? There was a shooting in Charleston. Do you recall? It happened on the date Rodney King died on. A date for other tragedies in black history, June 17th. Obama went there 9 days later for a funeral of 9. The next president to die in office will be the 9th. And the thing it'll have in common with the Charleston shooting is it will likely be a staged hoax to further building a police state around we the people. We give consent to tyrants through emotional-based lies to be taken advantage of. And that's why they do this to us. And that's what I'm trying to expose. And they taunt us with these headlines. So speaking of the headlines, let's go through it. What happens next has gematria of 68, just like the name Barack Obama. Just like 68, the year MLK was assassinated, like Bobby Kennedy. Everything else we talked about. Earlier this last week, they had a story about Sirhan Sirhan, the assassin of Bobby Kennedy. To fill you in real quick, Bobby Kennedy died at 1:44 in the morning on 6/6, June 6th. Sirhan Sirhan equals 66. Robert Kennedy equals 66. Robert Kennedy died at age 42. The word Freemason equals 42. This story was in the mainstream media on the 42nd day of the year about Sirhan Sirhan, a tribute to 42, Freemasonry, these ongoing killings, scripted hoaxes, however you want to call it. It doesn't matter. The point is that we're being deceived. We're being worked against a real agenda based on deceit by the numbers. That's what you need to take away. So we just get this headline about Sirhan Sirhan. We're getting another tribute to 68. Since the Sirhan Sirhan story, we've gotten the death of Scalia on the 44th day, Lupercalia, the date celebrating death, ancient Roman festival. Scalia is the first Roman Catholic on the bench. With regards to the subheadline of Sacrificial Lamb, a very curious phrase with the president's face on the screen. I mean, since when? When have we ever gotten anything like this before? Sacrificial Lamb, gematria of 64. Why is that important? The name Barack Hussein Obama equals 64, just like civil rights. Civil rights, think about this. The act happened in 64. Civil rights equals 64. Obama was elected the 44th president 44 years after the Civil Rights Act in 2008. He ran on hope, which has gematria of 44. So does the word kill. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X know this well. See my videos from Martin Luther King Jr. this day. Important information about their deaths, all the connections. Same gang responsible for it all. So anyhow, Sacrificial Lamb has gematria of 64 and 73, just like Barack Hussein Obama, just like civil rights. Civil rights with the S exception equals 64, 73, just like Sacrificial Lamb. And the date of the Civil Rights Act, July 2nd, 64, 7 plus 2 is 9. Plus 64 is 73. So even the date it's on, the midway point of the year, July 2nd, the exact midway point of the calendar year, midday. Sacrificial Lamb, the big way, equals 118, just like death in Jewish gematria. Think about Robin Williams, dead August 11th, in most parts of the world written 11/8, supposedly from suicide. Anyhow, this date, again, is President's Day, a very creepy headline for President's Day. I mean, what kind of tribute is this? Sacrificial Lamb. This comes on the 46th day of the year. Sacrifice in gematria equals 46, 73. 46th day of the year, a story about a sacrificial lamb with the president. Sacrifice 73, tying him with Sacrificial Lamb, the major headline. I'm going to link this article here. If you haven't seen my Sirhan Sirhan video, please check that out. If you haven't seen my Scalia video, I'll link that as well. These are must-sees. The top headline when Scalia died was Scalia dead, Jewish gematria of 59. Dead on the 44th day of the year. Dead at age 79. Murder equals 79. Kill equals 44. Speed through this real quick. I'll link the real video, but just so you know, his first name, Antonin, has gematria of 33 like justice. I have several videos on 33 in the Supreme Court. His name, the big one, Antonin, 87, just like justice the big way. He died on the 8th month, 7th day of the 13-moon calendar, which is the 44th day on our calendar. He was born on a date with 33 numerology, like his name. Died on a date corresponding with his name, corresponding with the word conspiracy. When he was sworn in, it was with an unprecedented 98-0 vote. He died on Lupercalia, which is 44 the small way, 98 the big way. He was the first justice to die since William Rehnquist, who was sworn in the same day as him. Where he died at, Cibolo Creek Ranch, has gematria of 79, also CC33, number of Freemason obsession. People are saying it reminds them of the Pelican Brief, which has gematria of 79 as well. Oftentimes, these things are scripted in movies. They happen in real life because they're all part of an act. I suspect Scalia is alive, probably doing quail hunting like they say what he was doing the day before he died. He's probably going to spend the rest of his life hunting quail. Died on the ranch, which has gematria of 44. Somebody commented that the ranch has 33 rooms. No surprise there. Another Freemason tribute. Down in Marfa, Texas, which is known for conspiracy. UFO sightings. Dead on a date with 51 numerology, the conspiracy number. Think of Area 51. Supreme has gematria of 97. The reflection is 79. Member of the Supreme Court. Whole bunch more. I'll link the whole video. That's just the quick gist of it, but there's way more to it. I'm just showing you. This stuff's happening all the time. Coded history by the numbers each day. Until next time. Encore. I just put out a video, a 4-part series on President's Day. If you missed that, here's the ending of it. So John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, and James Monroe all died on July 4th. That's the 2nd, 3rd, and 5th president. I'm going to show you what's so interesting about all of their deaths. This is the abbreviated version. So the date that John Adams and Thomas Jefferson died was July 4th, 1826, a date with numerology of 55. Numerology is compressing the dates. Gematria is practice of coding numbers in words. So gematria and numerology, you see how throughout history they've been used as a secret language. Anyhow, the date they died on has numerology of 55. So does the word sacrifice. So does the word Satan. And Satanism and Freemason have matching gematria, as does the word knowledge. Freemasons pride themselves on being the keepers of knowledge. People who've broken out of Freemasonry have said it's Satanism in disguise. And, Lucifer, another word for Satan, is supposed to be the bearer of light and information. You see how all this comes together. If you've seen my other work on the Bible, I show how it's been published and at least edited by this very Masonic code. 74, a very important number in the Bible, corresponding with Jesus, cross, Messiah, gospel, Lucifer, Masonic, and more, Jewish as well. But anyhow, it also shares 7-4 with our nation's birthday, the date Jefferson and Adams died on. And they died on one with a date numerology of 55, corresponding with the word sacrifice. Adams died at age 80, which when written out has a gematria of 74, as well as 38, corresponding with Adams and death. The word Masonic, again, has gematria of 74, so does killing, so does Jesus, so does cross. He died 118 days before his birthday. Death has Jewish gematria of 118. Death also corresponds with this nation, which began with a genocide. Genocide has gematria of 44. Thomas Jefferson would die at age 73 on the same date as Adams. The word sacrifice, the big way, is 73, as we talked about earlier. And Monroe would die exactly 1,826 days after Adams and Jefferson, who died in 1826. He would die on July 4th, 1,826 days later. And he too would die at age 73, just like Jefferson. And 1826 has a numerology of 44 the year, the kill number, where we started. with Obama